Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man ittaba'ahu bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin wa salam tasliman kathira amma ba'd. Welcome to the series, The Lives of the Wives of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ummahatul Mu'mineen. Where should we start our journey? Indeed, our journey begins with the first wife of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, about whom the Prophet said, خير النساء في زمانها. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that she was the best woman in her time. And who the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, خير النساء في أهل الجنة, that she is the best woman of the women of paradise. And yet in another narration, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about her that her blessings and her greatness compared to other women of his nation are comparable to the greatness and the blessings of Maryam upon the women of all of the world. And we are talking about none other than our mother Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha, the first wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khadijah, our mother Khadijah, she has many virtues, some of which are the following. She was the first person to accept Islam from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was the first wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was the mother of all of the children of the Prophet alayhi salatu salam except one, Ibrahim. She had the honor of being given the salams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angel Jibril. She was given the glad tidings of a home in paradise directly from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Indeed, we are going to embark on our journey on Ummahatul Mu'mineen with our first mother, Khadijah bint Khuwailid. SubhanAllah, if we want to look at the greatness of Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, we go to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there we find in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions many stories of many great women. But two women in particular, Maryam, the mother of Isa alayhi salatu salam, and Asia, the wife of Pharaoh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made, as we know, brothers and sisters, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the leader of the Siddiqeen in, inshallah, the Day of Judgment. That Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he will be the Amir of the people of truth on the Day of Judgment for the men. But subhanAllah, who will be the leader of the truthful women on the Day of Judgment? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Tahrim,
وَمَرْيَمَ ابْنَتَ عِمْرَانَ الَّتِي أَحْصَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا وَصَدَّقَتْ بِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّهَا وَكُتُبِهِ وَكَانَتْ مِنَ الْقَانِتِينَ.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes Maryam alayha salam, and he says, وَصَدَّقَتْ بِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّهَا وَكُتُبِهِ, that she believed firmly and she affirmed the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as his books. In the 5th chapter of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes Maryam, the mother of Isa, by saying, وَأُمُّهُ صِدِّيقَةٌ, that the mother of Isa alayhi salatu salam is a truthful woman. The second woman that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran in a very nice way is Asia, the wife of Pharaoh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا امْرَأَتَ فِرْعَوْنَ إِذْ قَالَتْ رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِندَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ إِذْ قَالَتْ رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِندَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَنَجِّنِي مِنْ فِرْعَوْنَ وَعَمَلِهِ وَنَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Asia, the wife of Pharaoh, and he says that Asia asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a home in paradise. Subhanallah, these two great women have qualities which are particular to themselves. But if you want to know the greatness of Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha, subhanallah, sisters and brothers, she possessed both qualities. She was from the people of truth. Why? Because she was the first one to believe in the Nabuwah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And secondly, Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, as related by Imam al-Bukhari, one day the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was sitting with Jibril alayhi salam. And Jibril, he said to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, هذه خديجة قد أتت معها إناء فيه إدام أو طعام أو شراب فإذا هي أتتك فاقرأ عليها السلام من ربها ومني وبشرها ببيت في الجنة من قصب لا سخب فيه ولا نسب لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. Subhanallah. Jibril alayhi salatu salam was sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he said, هذه Khadijah. Our mother Khadijah was walking towards the Prophet alayhi salatu salam and Jibril. He said, هذه Khadijah. He said, this is Khadijah coming to you with some type of food substance, either a soup or some type of drink, coming towards the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Jibril alayhi salam, he said, so when she comes to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, give her salams from who? Sisters, you're getting ready to shake. Give her salams from who? Give her salams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah. Give her salams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What type of woman was our mother Khadijah radiallahu anha, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending her the salams? So he said, فَقْرَأْ عَلَيْهَا السَّلَامِ مِنْ رَبِّهَا وَمِنِّي. Give her the greetings of salam from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from her Lord, and from me, from Jibril. La ilaha illallah, subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Jibril are giving the greetings to our mother Khadijah bint Khuwailid radiyallahu anha. Then he says, وَبَشِّرْهَا, and give her the good news, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, of a home in paradise. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us the greatness of our mother Khadijah bint Khuwaylid by giving her these two qualities that were possessed by two of the greatest women that ever lived. The quality of truthfulness and the quality of being granted paradise, insha'Allah ta'ala. If we want to know the greatness of our mother Khadijah, we can look at a hadith related by our mother Aisha radiyallahu anha, which is related by Imam al-Nasa'i. When Aisha radiyallahu anha says, ما غرت على أحد من أزواج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما غرت على خديجة. I was not envious of any of the wives of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم as I was envious of Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. And she says in another narration, which is also authentic, that there was not one day that would pass except the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would remember our mother Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about our mother Khadijah radiyallahu anha in an authentic hadith, خير نسائها مريم وخير نسائها Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the best woman in her time was Maryam, and the best woman in her time or in her ummah was Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. And one of the narrators of this hadith, subhanallah, when he was narrating this hadith, he took his hand and he moved his hand up to the heavens and down to the earth to show that there was no better woman that lived who was better than our mother Khadijah bint Khuwaylid. So now we start our journey with our first mother, our mother Khadijah bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha.